Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and you're watching an episode of Who Is, the show where we delve deep into the lore and backstory of your favourite characters from films, video games and books. In this episode we will be delving deeper into the story of Thanos, the Mad Titan, all the way up to the events before Avengers Infinity War. Thanos, the Mad Titan, also referred to as the Dark Lord by his servants and those of galactic origin, is a Titan, a race of godlike powerful beings descending from the planet of the same name. He is the ruler of the area of space known as the Distant Region and is the leader of the Chitauri and Outriders, two large-scale armies. The main mission of Thanos is to seek and take the Infinity Stones for himself. He has brokered deals and contracts in the past with Loki and Ronan the Accuser, sponsoring their own campaigns in the past in order to get the Infinity Stones, but always failed. Not only did Thanos lose out on resources and time, but these campaigns spawned the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. During the story of Infinity War, Thanos is in dismay about his previous allies and their failures, and vows to seek the Six Stones himself as he equips the Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos was shunned by his people, as he had a genetic trait that marked him different. He was left as an outcast and regardless of this, still tried his best to save his planet during a catastrophic event that threatened his demise. His solution for the problem was ignored by his people, and shortly after, the planet was uninhabitable, wiping out nearly the entire Titan race. After the demise of his planet, Thanos sought to build himself up as one of the most feared and most powerful beings in the universe. He gained control of his army, the Chitauri, and killed the Zeoberi race and family of Lupomoids to birth and raise two daughters for himself, Gamora and Nebula, which he would use as assassins. He would torture his daughter Nebula every time she would lose in a duel to her sister, often removing a body part from her. Thanos became obsessed with collecting all of the Infinity Stones, objects promising immeasurable power and dominance over the whole universe and his forces. He has forged many teams and alliances in his duration as a ruler in order to locate and seize them, but all had been a failure. Thanos would successfully locate the Mind Stone, one of the Infinity Stones that had the power to manipulate people's minds. He stored the Mind Stone within a scepter, which Loki would later be known to wield. Thanos then discovered a lead on one of the other Infinity Stones, the second, the Power Stone, which he would found to be contained in the orb, an artifact. He sent his daughters Gamora and Nebula on a mission to the orb to retrieve it, but they failed and fell to a trap. Thanos, unhappy with his daughter Nebula for failing for such a thing, forbade his other daughter Gamora from saving her, which would lead to Nebula having to amputate her own arm to break free. Unfortunately, because of this, they would never recover the orb or the Power Stone within. Thanos would later learn of the location of the Space Stone, which was another of the Infinity Stones, stored inside the Tesseract. He found out that the Tesseract was on Earth, and thus brokered an alliance with Loki, the god of mischief, to attempt to retrieve it. Loki would be given Thanos' scepter along with the army of the Chitauri to attempt to conquer the planet, as long as Loki would grant Thanos the Tesseract in return. Although he had such an army and weapon at his disposal, the Avengers would put a stop to Loki at the end of the Battle of New York, and Hydra would take the scepter into their possession, with the Tesseract being taken to Asgard by Thor with Loki in tow as a prisoner. Later, during the events of Guardians of the Galaxy storyline, Thanos would make a new deal with Ronan the Accuser. Thanos promised to grant some of his forces to Ronan to use if he would locate the orb once more for him. They would later find the orb's location, which was on Mirage, and would try to deliver it to Thanos, but it would be taken by Star-Lord, who attempted to sell it to a broker, a trader on the planet Xandar, before Ronan the Accuser would take it for himself. Thanos, enraged once more as such a failure, told Ronan to follow Star-Lord, aka Peter Quill, and take the stone from him. He also sent his daughter Gamora along with Ronan and his Kree on the mission. Gamora would be the first to locate Star-Lord on Xandar during his deal with the orb. She did locate and take it for herself, but Thanos was naive to the truth that Gamora had cut any contact with him and had her own plans to give the orb to the Collector, who was another who seek the Infinity Stones for unique reasons. Ronan would meet with Thanos to tell him of his daughter's betrayal. Thanos told him to continue his mission and to fix the betrayal of his daughter, and that Nebula should go with Ronan as a replacement. Ronan, along with Nebula in tow, eventually stole the orb from the Guardians. Ronan contacted Thanos to update his progress on the mission and told Thanos of his plans to keep it for himself. With the orb aka having the Power Stone for himself, Ronan threatened Thanos, telling him that he would soon be coming for him within time. At this point, Thanos broke contact with the two, disappointed with Ronan, who would later run into the Guardians of the Galaxy, who would be his end. At the end of this event, the Guardians would send the orb to the Nova Corps, putting it out of Thanos' reach once more. It was at this point that Thanos was sick of the failure of his previous allies. He grew tired and decided it was time to take matters into his own hands. He took the Infinity Gauntlet for himself, putting it on his hand and thus beginning his personal crusade to locate the Infinity Stones for himself, as he said,
"Fine. I'll do it myself."
Thanos would then track down the Asgardian ship from Ragnarok whilst on the Sanctuary 2, his own ship. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and also note there are many more episodes on this channel for you to check out. If you want to see future videos like this, feel free to get the discussion started in the comment section below by leaving your feedback and character suggestions for future episodes. If you enjoyed the content, please help out the channel by subscribing for weekly Star Wars lore, news and gaming, as well as other lore videos and Fortnite content, so you don't miss another episode of this show. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.